Hello everyone. Hello. 굿자마법사님 니하. Pepsi 니하, Kungfu 니하, Caddy-chan 니하. Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. It is the 9060 XT review embargo day. Embargo lifting day. Welcome. It's gonna be a short stream. We're gonna talk about how mid the 9060 XT is and despair over AMD dropping the ball again, as usual. Advanced marketing disaster. Their name's not off. Aranimniha. Okay, here we go. Why is it mid? 9060 XT compared to the 9600, 9060 XT. Why must they be like this? Why do they have to change the name? 9060 XT compared to the 7600 XT. The latter released for $330 2 years ago. The 9060 XT, the 16GB model, releases for $350. So a price increase of $20. Now, given that, sure, there's a bit of inflation over the last 2 years. One could argue that it's fair. Let's compare that to, I don't know, iPhone MSRP. Let's see how accurate this is. iPhone 12. No. Let's do 23, so 15. iPhone 15 came out for $800. iPhone 14 came out for $800. iPhone 16 came out for $800. So one can't always just look at inflation because there's things like customer sentiment. There's the growth in market. Sure, your margins may be a little lower because of the inflation, but then you have more units that you're selling. I think the 9060 XT should have launched at $300 with only the 16GB version, not the 8GB version. Or without the 8GB version. So that's the price, you know, $350 for the 9060 XT for 16GB. We don't talk about the 8GB card because it's garbage. Don't buy it. Power consumption, 194 watts for the 7600 XT while playing ray-traced games. 185 watts for the 9060 XT while playing ray-traced games. This is from Tech Power Up. So it uses a little less power. The number of shading units, it's the same, 2048 for both of them. No change there. Die size became a little smaller thanks to the improvement in the process node for the chip. And VRAM amount, 16GB for both of them. The 9060 XT uses 20GB dies, clocked a little higher than 20GB. And the 7600 XT uses 18GB dies, exactly at 18GB, which is in megahertz. It's 2250 megahertz versus 2518 megahertz. So that's about an improvement of 12%. VRAM bus width stays the same, therefore the VRAM bandwidth also increases by 12%. And I did write the gaming perf there, very faintly, if you can see that. I don't want you to see it right now. Now, compared to the 7700 XT. 7700 XT released for an MSRP of $450, which is universally acclaimed, denounced as a bad MSRP. Shortly after the release, it started selling for like $400, $420. Whoppa! Power Floyd Leon, hello. Power, the 7700 XT uses 230 watts. 9060 XT uses 185 watts, so uses less power. Of course, because it has, less shading units. 3,456 shading units for 77 XT. 2,048 for 9060 XT. Die size is a lot smaller, approximately 290mm square versus 199mm square. VRAM amount, the 9060 XT has more VRAM. 1.33 times, 33% more. VRAM clock is faster, again by 12%, however the bus width is narrower. 192 versus 128-bit. Therefore, the total VRAM bandwidth is also smaller. 75% of the 77 XT. Or 25% slower. Gaming perf also written there. I don't want you to see that yet though. Okay. Compared to the 5060, which Nvidia, in all their wisdom, released for $300 with mere 8GB of RAM. It's kind of bad, don't buy the 5060. The 9060 XT is $50 more expensive. Uses a bit more power. Die size a little larger at 199 versus approximately 151mm square. Double the VRAM. VRAM clock speed. 5060 uses GDDR7 versus GDDR6 on 9060 XT. So it's a lot slower. Only 72% clock speed and bandwidth because the bus width is the same. Gaming perf, a little faster. And then the main competition, I guess. 5060 Ti. 16GB. Released for $430. Uses $180 watts. Oh, sorry. Okay, that's a mistake actually. So 5060 Ti does use 180 watts. I forgot to update this one. 5060 does not use 180 watts. I think it's closer to 150. We'll review that on Tech Power Up website. This is not certain. Let's go look at it later. I added the 5060 later. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I'm like, okay, well, it's the closest in price, so I'll add it there. So I copied and pasted the 5060 Ti chart, but I forgot to update it. The power usage. VRAM amount is the same for 5060 Ti and 9060 XT. VRAM clock speed, a lot faster for the 5060 Ti because it uses, again, GDDR7. Bandwidth, better, larger, higher, because... yeah. Okay, let's talk about the performance now. Easy to see single chart performance comparison. 9060 XT versus 7600 XT. This is taking both raster gaming and ray tracing gaming into account. 라데온의 승리, 힐 승리하. 47% faster for the 9060 XT. Because, well, TechPara found that it's 47% faster. Hardware Canucks found that it's 45% faster. Hardware Unboxed found that it's almost 60% faster. Kit Guru found that it's 50% faster. Average, median, 48% faster. Average, mean, 50% faster. Now this is taking both raster and ray tracing into account. Raster, it's about... You can kind of see that on the left side here. Sorry, 7600 XT is about 26% slower than the 9060 XT. 1.26 or 0.736. So that's about 36% raster faster in raster. However, for ray tracing, the difference is huge. It's almost like 2x faster in some games. Some like more than 2x faster in some games. That is why overall, it's approximately 1.5 times faster, because they did make some decent improvements in terms of ray tracing performance. ray tracing 성능에 꽤 커다란 차이가 있기 때문에 7600XT 대비 9060XT는 평균적으로 ray tracing 플러스 일반 레스터 게임 1.5배 정도 빠릅니다. Now, compared to the 77XT, it is about 2%, 4% faster depending on how you look at it, median, mean. It's a little slower in raster, a bit faster in ray tracing, coming up to about the same performance overall. So it really depends on what you prioritize. But then again, the pricing, MSRP to MSRP, is quite a bit cheaper. Now, you could probably find a 77XT brand new for about the same as the MSRP of the 9060XT, or you could buy a used 77XT for much cheaper than the MSRP of the 9060XT. So it's a toss-up, really. Now, if you're just looking at new MSRP versus new MSRP, 9060XT is a lot better. Performance to price. Now, you may notice that some outlets did not review all these cards. Quasar Zone, a Korean outlet, for example, did not look at the 76XT. Digital Foundry also did not look at the 76XT. Digital Foundry looked at the 77XT, but not... Or sorry, Quasar Zone looked at the 77XT, but Digital Foundry or Eurogamer, same people, same data, did not look at the 77XT. And yes, the 5060, only half of the outlets that I looked at, that I referenced, looked at the 5060 because Nvidia did not supply 5060 for reviews. So people either have to buy it. Sorry, they did not supply the driver in time. So most people decided not to look at the 5060 for launch. Now the driver is out now. But I guess some organizations, some outlets are giving it the cold shoulder because of that. Nvidia's shady move there. Compared to the 5060, the 9060 XT is about 15% faster. On Tech Power reviews, 25% for Hardware Unbox reviews. Or Hardware Unbox benchmarks, sorry. And 13% faster for Digital Foundry benchmarks. Now, for Digital Foundry and Eurogamer, I must mention that I'm using the 1080p numbers because their aggregate number only looked at 1080p. Also, some returning viewers might recognize that I've removed Gamers Nexus. Now, I think Gamers Nexus does excellent reviews. I only remove them because they do not provide like an aggregate number of all their benchmarks. They only have the individual games and no average of the different games, so I did not bother with them this time. It takes a lot of time going through their video, looking at the number, averaging them, and then looking at the ray tracing numbers, averaging them, and then looking at the raster and the ray tracing numbers, and then averaging that again. It's effort. And that effort was not made today, I'm sorry. That's why we added in Hardware Canucks instead to replace Gamers Nexus. Tom's Hardware. I also refer to them for these meta reviews. I did not see 9060XT review on their website. Jared Walton, who usually does the video card reviews, I respect that man. I don't know what happened. Maybe he no longer writes for them, or maybe they just didn't get a card. I do not know. They didn't have a review, therefore they're not on here. Okay, so the 9060 XT is $50 more, and it is 18% faster. I would say more like 15 to 20% faster, depending on the game, really. Now, the 9060 XT costs $50 more, which is in terms of percentage, that's 350 divided by 300, which is 17% more. So you're paying $17% more, getting about 17% more in performance, and you're also getting 2x of VRAM. So yeah, do not get the 5060. 근데 이거 램 몇 기가 기준임? 이거 다 16GB 기준입니다. 아, 다라고 하면 안 되는구나. 9060XT 16기가, 7600XT 16기가, 5060 5060 8기가, 7700XT 12기가, 5060ti 16기가. 5개의 카드 중에 3개는 이제 16기가고 7700XT만 12기가, 5060 8기가. So in terms of these 5 cards, 9060 XT, 7600, 7700, 5060, 5060 Ti, they're all 16GB except for the 77XT, which is 12GB, and 5060, which is 8GB VRAM. Now compared to the 5060 Ti, TechPara found that it's only 91% the performance of the 5060 Ti. Quasar Zone found that it's 96% the performance of 5060 Ti. Hardware Canucks 91%, Hardware Unbox 93%, Kitguru 87%, and Digital Foundry 96%. So median average 92%, mean average 92%. The 5060 Ti costs $430 MSRP versus $350 MSRP, so that's 23% more. Or inversely, 350 divided by 430. We could put it this way: the 9060 XT costs 81% of the 5060 Ti, while offering 92% of the performance. However, this here is where the NVIDIA tax applies. Or AMD, I don't know, debuff. FSR4 support. FSR4, in terms of technology, is very impressive. Both Hardware Unboxed, Tim from Hardware Unboxed, and Steve from Gamers Nexus found that FSR4 is about between, falls just between, slots in just between DLSS 3 and DLSS 4 in terms of upscaling. The problem is the number of supported games. Right now, recently I've been enjoying Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, Doom Dark Ages, The Dark Ages, and neither of those games are supported by FSR4 right now. In total, they have 47 games listed supported as of May 12th. Now that's including 3 upcoming games, or games that are to be supported. And right now it's June 4th. So assuming they added these 3 games, and there are, I don't know, like a few new games, they're at about 50 games supported for FSR4. And some of the most popular games out right now, such as Clair Obscur and Doom The Dark Ages, not supported at all. I know, because I play those games and they're not supported right now. Now, if we go and look at DLSS 4, these are all the games that supports DLSS 4 natively, NV natively. There we go. In the DLSS Super Resolution, NVT denotes that native built-in support for these features. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, Clair Obscur. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So 50 games, and we're only at Diablo 4. And here's the rest of the games where DLSS is supported. Final Fantasy XIV, Hogwarts Legacy, Doom The Dark Ages is not listed on here, but it is supported. So that is the NVIDIA AMD difference. Basically, is a game that you want, is a game that you're looking forward to play on these new cards. Is it supported by FSR4? Is it supported by DLSS? FSR4 언제 늘려주냐고! 그러니까 말이야. 아니 진짜 클레어 obscure 요즘에 한 30시간 넘게 했는데 거의 40시간 했나? I think I've put in about 40 hours into Clair Obscur. It supports for my 9070 XT. It supports XeSS and FSR. And I'm not even using FSR 2 or 3 or whatever the game uses. Because even compared to XeSS, software XeSS, that is inferior to the hardware XeSS supported on... Sorry. The multi-vendor compatible XeSS, which is inferior to the Intel Arc only XeSS. The inferior version still looks better than FSR. So I'm playing Cloudskill with XeSS instead of FSR. Like, what the heck are you doing, AMD? 금방 된다면서 언제 되는데. May we know your PC specs? My current streaming PC is 7800X3D with 9070 XT. FSR4 is a PS5 of upscaling. It has no games. Only problem with DLSS, like solid 75% of those games are mild at best. Sure. The same thing could be said about AMD's. Anyway, going back. Sure, the 9060 XT only costs 81% of the 5060 Ti while offering 92% of the performance. Are you okay with not having FSR4 support in most of the games? For the foreseeable future. May I remind you that AMD took... what is it? 11 months to add FSR3 frame gen after they announced it with the 7900 XTX. Yeah. This is that AMD that we're talking about. Don't expect them to add FSR4 anytime quickly. Or, sorry, don't expect AMD to add a wide support for FSR4 anytime quickly. Now, going back to the specs, the 5060 Ti uses less power, a little less power, has better DLSS support. Yes, it costs more. Really, it's up to you viewers to decide if it's worse. The $80 MSRP additional? And that's assuming that the 9060 XT releases that MSRP, and that's assuming that the 5060 Ti 16GB can be found for $430 MSRP. You will have to decide for yourself. At 92% of the performance, look at the pricing. See if the game you want is supported yet on FSR4. And make that decision yourself. Now, MSRP to MSRP, I'm gonna go say that no, 9060 XT is not worth it. Well, no. Save up that additional $80 for the 5060 Ti. Just save up. I don't know, if it takes you a month, 2 months, save up. Just wait a bit. Unless you absolutely need something at $350. Yeah, I don't know. I've decided my 3080 is still king. 3080 10GB, decent, yes. It's still quite good. Now let's go look at the power number for the tech power up, or 5060, because I messed it up. 5060 uses, well, I listed the source here, so just click on it. Ray tracing, power usage, power consumption, ray tracing. 5060 Ti uses... Yeah, okay, 16GB uses 188 watts. 5060 uses 145. So let's fix that. There you go. Now those of you you guys watching this video stream right now, you guys can make the informed decision based on the performance difference and the pricing, actual pricing that you find. Now here is the problem with AMD releasing the 9060 XT for $350 for the 16GB version. When your average Joe, average Jane sees 5060 for $300 and 9060 XT 8GB that no one should buy for $300, we can make a guess what everyone's going to buy. What many people are gonna lean to. The Nvidia card. That's just the sad truth. If you look at the market share, Nvidia and AMD's market share, it's just how it works out. Just look at Steam's hardware survey. Guess which cards are always at the top of Steam hardware survey, even if they're bad. The 4060, it is bad. It barely offered anything over the 3060. It had even less VRAM than the 3060. And guess what's at the top of Steam hardware charts? The story's not going to be different for 5060 this time. What AMD had to have done is not given the chance for the customer to look between the 5060 8GB, 9060 XT 8GB, and they're like, okay, they're both 8GB cards, I'll just go with the Nvidia card. No, they should have only released the 9060 XT 16GB for $300. And at that point, the customer is looking at, the potential customer is looking at the 5060 8GB and then the 9060 XT 16GB. And they may start going, okay, well, Nvidia is preferable to AMD. But this AMD cards offers more of this whatever VRAM, this memory, whatever that is. I guess I'll go look at the reviews. Because I don't know what that 16GB means compared to the 8GB on this 5060 thing. And they will see these numbers. 18% better. Ah! 18% better, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I'll just get the 9060 XT. It also has like more of this VRAM thing, so it's gotta be better. I buy Nvidia. Chat says, I buy Nvidia because green good, red bad. 에허 60ti 단들. 라네스리하. YPD하. AMD being red is another marketing disaster. Did you know that AMD used to be green until they took in ATI, which was red? AMD used to be green because they used to only make CPUs, and Intel being blue, it's okay if AMD's like green. But because they started competing with Nvidia as well, who has the green color, it's more known for the green color, AMD swapped over to the red color, completing the RGB trifecta. 그냥 5060은 없애도 되지 않을까요? 네, 저는 이렇게 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 5060 8GB 사지 마세요. 5060 8GB 사지 말고 $50 더 모아서 9060 XT를 사. 그치만 거기서 $350에서 $80를 더 모으면 5060 Ti를 살 수 있다. 5060 Ti를 사면 성능 조금 더 빠르고 DLSS 게임이 이만큼이나 있다. 그렇지만 $80면 게임을 못 사잖아. 그러니까 한 달, 두 달 더 저축하세요. 저축을 더 해. 한 달만. 8만원 더 모아. 8만원이 아니고 뭐 원하루는 한 10만원, 12만원 하겠지. 더 모으세요. 한 달만 더 저축을 해. I cannot wait to serve my corporate overlords. Sky Beyond Sky, hello. 그 돈이면 70XT를. 아, 그렇긴 해. 그 돈이면 9070 하긴 하는데 9070 지금 얼마 하지? XT랑? 100만원 넘지 않아요? 5060 Ti는 70 정도 안 하나? 왜 차이가 있는데? Now, this argument of just save up more, we could go all day. We could be like, okay, just save up for the 5070. Save up for the 9070 XT. Yeah, sure, okay. What's the reason, you know? 5070 XT, I think, is selling slightly below MSRP. At least in Canada, right now, it's selling $50 below MSRP. Which is like $35 American? I don't know how it is in USA right now because of the entire tariff situation and all that, but yeah. 5070, while it only has 12GB of VRAM, it blows these two cards out of the water with performance. Let's just take a quick look at TPU. 5070 I didn't look at in terms of for this comparison, however, let's take a look. Relative performance raster at 1440p. I used 1440p numbers here. For 1440p, we're looking at 99% for the 9060 XT and 5070, 146%. So that's 47% higher than the 9060 XT. Now, ray tracing, a lot higher. Uh, 43% for ray tracing and path tracing, sorry, is where it's a lot higher. 19.6 FPS for, or let's look at 1080 because realistically 1440 doesn't render on this level of graphics card. And here, the average I use here is 1440 for raster and 1080p for ray tracing. Except for Eurogamer, who only needed 1080p. So 5070, oh, it's not even listed here. It's actually like here. It's faster than the 4070, so it's like here. And Black Myth Wukong, 12.4 versus over 32 FPS. It's gonna be like here, probably like 35 FPS. That is 3x the difference. Or 2x the difference, 3x the performance. Yeah. It's not a bad card, the 9060 XT, it's not a bad card. You will have to look at both the 5060 Ti and I don't know, even higher options like 5070. Look at the performance difference, decide for yourself if the price difference is worth it. And don't forget that FSR4 support is very limited. 47 games versus... I think last time they said 200 plus. But yeah. That is the meta review for 9060 XT. Thank you, everyone. This was meant to be a short stream, so it's gonna be a short stream. Does anyone have any questions? How did they trick the tiny rocks into thinking? I ask that question all to myself every day. They took these tiny rocks, made them flat, zapped them with laser, or put some coating on them, zapped them with laser, and yeah. Now the rocks are thinking. 9060 XT, the crowd goes mild. Which one will make anime girls look better? If you're only interested in looking at anime girls on computer, you know, assuming static 2D anime girls, you could get by with integrated video cards, integrated GPUs. Oh yeah, bro, the CPU is like totally made of rocks. Nah, bro, we know these are a bunch of tiny gnomes in there. Free the gnomes! Ah, yeah. Let me rephrase the conclusion. 9060 XT is an okay card. At $350, it offers decent performance over the 5060. Quite close to the 5060 Ti. However, it lacks in features right now in terms of FSR4 support. I think that AMD should have released the 9060 XT at $300 without the 8GB version, as in only release the 9060 XT 16GB for $300. Or 12GB with 3GB chips. I know they don't exist for GDDR6, but you know, if there were an option. That way, potential customers looking at the 5060 and the 9060 XT would have bought the 9060 XT most of the time. Instead of right now, we're comparing the 5060 8GB and the 9060 XT 8GB at $300 bracket, where customers may lean to the Nvidia name. AMD just snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Sorry, snatching the defeat from the jaws of victory. As usual. They just managed that. It's great. Oh, you mean our market share is down to like single digit? Oh, I guess we just do the same thing that we always did and release Nvidia minus few dollars. Because that's gonna turn around our prospect. Anyway, I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I'm disappointed that there is even an 8GB version. I'm disappointed that the 16GB version is $350. AMD as usual. AMD FSR Redstone is upcoming also. Sure, that'll add neural radiance caching, and ray, whatever they're calling it, ray reconstruction. Which Nvidia already has with DLSS 4, while supported in many more games. Yeah, AMD, I'm so disappointed. Alright, bye guys, that's the end of the video. Thanks for coming. Toodles. Check out my merch store, I guess. Check out my merch store down below in description or something. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, follow. Thanks. Bye! Dong!